Hi, I'm Andrea Santee Iverson with the Kinesiology Department, grad student at the University of Minnesota. I'm here to talk to you about some stretches for facilities management and custodial staff here at the U. What we're going to start with today is we're going to start with the neck stretch. What we're going to do is we have a few modifications that I'll discuss while I'm doing them. I'm going to demonstrate the exercise first, and then we'll break it down. So first we're just going to go nice and slow into a neck roll. And when you're doing these as a group, you're going to want to do about 10 to 15 each side, then switch directions and go the other way. A few modifications that you can do with this stretch are you can slow it down and do a static stretch each way, and hold each static stretch for about anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. This could be beneficial if anybody has any vertigo or has any neck pain or issues and the rotation causes any sort of dizziness or nausea. The purpose is to help you to feel better, not feel worse. So if you do notice that you're getting a little dizzy from doing a head roll, just nice and steady, static. The next stretch we're going to go into is for our shoulders and back. This one has multiple names. For the sake of today, we'll call it the goalpost or cactus. Again, this has a few modifications. You could go both arms down all the way through the motion, or you can go one arm at a time, or if you have any shoulder limitations, you can start low at your hands at your side and come up into a W position, and then nice and slow back down. Again, with each of these stretches, we're doing them nice and slow, and we're going up and down, or starting here, if you're going to do the cactus or goalpost, up and down, about 10 to 15 repetitions each side. Next, we'll move into our shoulder rolls. This is going to help, again, with shoulder and mid-back mobility. Oftentimes when we're working and we're doing a lot of lifting or upper body activity, we get tightness through our shoulder blades, through our chest, and this is going to help to improve that range of motion. 10 or 15 each side, and then we'll switch directions, and we'll make sure we're doing the shoulder rolls forwards and backwards. Our next stretch that we'll move into is our upper body mobility stretch. I'll demonstrate this stretch and then we will discuss it in detail. This stretch, you can start with your hand behind your back, and then opposite hand comes to meet between your shoulder blades. With this stretch, this is a determination of your mobility, and as you do this stretch, the more you do it and the more frequently you do it. Now, you want to be safe with every stretch that you do. You don't want to ever push during any stretch past your point of mobility. So if you're doing this stretch and this is all you can do to start, that is perfectly fine. As you're going through this stretch, and if you notice you can get a little bit closer and a little bit closer, that's how we can determine that you're improving your range of motion and that flexibility is improving through your back. You may also find that as you're doing this stretch that you have one side that's a little bit tighter than the other. Again, perfectly normal to have one side tighter than the other. That's just average everyday abnormalities that our body has as we get a little bit older. Part of the reason why we're doing this is to help to even out our body. Our body wants to try to find homeostasis, and if we stretch each side of our body, we can try to bring those a little bit closer together. Our next stretch that we're going to do is going to be a chest opener as well as shoulder blade flexibility. So that's going to be the technical term we're going to use is chest opener and then shoulder protraction. So you're going to almost like hunch your back as you're doing this, reaching out. Try to reach out nice and far to separate those shoulder blades, and then you're going to bring those shoulder blades back together again. So as you're doing this, your shoulder blades are retracting in this position and protracting in this position. This helps to improve mobility between your shoulders as well as in your chest. So oftentimes if you're lifting or you're working with your hands a lot, you'll notice that you'll get tightness through your chest or through your back, and this can help to alleviate some of that tightness. So with this stretch, again, you're taking your time, you're not going too fast through the range of motion, and we're doing about 10 to 15 repetitions each time you do this. When we're working in the field of custodial and trades, we're going to use our hands, fingers, wrists, and forearms a lot. So we want to make sure that we're doing some stretches to work through our hands and our wrists. So what we're going to do first is we're going to work through our hands and our wrists. So what we're going to do is you're going to go down, up, open, and close. This is helping to work on flexibility through our fingertips as well as our wrists and forearms. This can be done from your sides if your shoulders are a little bit tired or you don't want to hold your arms up for an extended period of time. You can also do it just like this, hands out and down. So this is flexion and extension of your wrists, and then you're also flexing and extending your fingers. Our next exercise that we're going to go to for our wrist is some wrist circles. 10 reps to 15, 1 to 2 sets of these, and we're going to go both directions. We're going to go facing each other and then turn it back the other way. Again, everything that we're doing with stretching is slow. Even if it is a dynamic stretch, like much of our stretches are that we've done today, we want to make sure that we're taking our time. To stretch out our lower back and core, what we want to work on is a back extension. So for this one, what you're going to do is you're going to have your hands at your side. You're just going to reach back and come up to neutral. So this one can also be done as a static stretch or a dynamic stretch, whatever feels best. It might feel better for you to hold it for a little bit of time. That's totally fine. As you're working and you're going about your day, let's say you're in a confined space or let's say you're seated, this is going to help to open up through your back and alleviate some of that low back pain that you may experience as the day goes on. To improve lower body flexibility and mobility, what we want to do is we want to work on some squats. We can start with half squats, or as you're getting a little bit better and you feel you've got the mobility, you can go a little bit lower. For the sake of today, we're going to start with just a half squat. So what I want you to focus on when you're doing a half squat is sit arms. You can put your arms out to balance you. Sit back like you're sitting in a chair. And then notice how I have my feet both planted steadily on the ground. That's very important to protect your knees. So you're going to sit back like you're sitting in a chair. You can put your arms out to protect you if you need to, if you feel like you're unstable in any sort of way. And then you're just going to go nice and slow into that half squat, down and back up. Again, arms can just be out there to stabilize. If not, you can leave them at your side, whatever feels most comfortable. 10 or 15 repetitions of this. And then the next exercise that we'll move into for our quads, glutes, and hips is called a dynamic quad stretch. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can get a better angle on this one. What we're going to do is you're going to lift your leg up and touch it back behind you. With this one, it's really nice if you want to hold on to the wall or if you want to hold on to a chair for stabilization. Or you can just, if you've got the balance, you can just lift and touch if that's easier for you. This is really good for helping to improve balance as well, which as we age we do need a little bit of help with balance. So this is going to be beneficial to improve that mobility. So I'll show from the front as well. You're going to lift on up and then touch back behind you. As you're touching back behind you, focus on contracting your glute. As you're touching that toe down, that'll help stretch out through your hip flexor. So up and back down. Nice and easy, 10 to 15 repetitions of this one. Our last leg stretch that we will do for the day is we will do a calf stretch. It's really important to stretch out throughout your entire lower body and trunk. So what you want to do is, for the calf stretch, we're going to do a runner stretch. We're going to turn to the side here for this. You're going to put your leg out in front of you. This front leg is going to be the one that bends, and your back leg is going to stay nice and straight. So you're going to reach out. The best way to do this is to reach out towards like a wall or really anything, a chair that's out in front of you. And then you're just going to bend that front leg just enough so that you can feel the stretch in that back leg. Again, with this one, you can hold for anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. If you're really enjoying it, you can hold it a little bit longer, to upwards of 30 seconds. So front leg is the one that's going to bend, back leg stays straight, and you're holding on to a wall to stabilize you and to bend that front leg. Performing these stretches each day as a group before your work day can also build camaraderie, but most importantly, it helps your body to warm up before you move to reduce your risk of injury as you go about your day. Thank you for stretching with me. I'm Andrea.